Alright, so I'm going to do a video on our trip to Cuba, and also kind of review one of the cigars that I bought out there and talk about the whole cigar buying process if you go to Havana. So first of all, the cigar, and once I get that lit, then we will talk a little bit more about Cuba, and I have something nice to smoke on. So one of the boxes that I bought was this Hoyo de Monterrey, and here's the box. This came out of a local cigar shop at La Casa de Habana in Cuba, and you can see the box date there. It was March of 17. We actually bought this about March of 18, so it was a year. You can see it was $70 CUC. That equates about $70 American, and it's for 10. So, and this wasn't the cheapest place. The prices do vary a little bit, but not a whole lot, because you're buying from the same distributor, this La Casa de Habanos up top there, if you can see that in the maroon. So let's take a look at the box inside, and let's see, it'll slide out, and we'll have the cedar nicely in there. You've got your Habanos certificate and what's left of these cigars that I have smoked. And so 10 of them in this. Really good cigars. The Epicure Deluxe Hoyo de Monterrey. So I'll pull one of those out and we'll take a look at it. So this is a decent ring gauge. I think a 50 ring gauge, which is fairly big for Cubans, but it's a shorter stick. So $7 a stick for what I would call an ultra premium in the United States, Nicaraguan blend, is pretty good price. If you buy it online here, you're going to pay a lot more. If you buy through Switzerland or something like that, going to be substantially more. So you can see there as it focuses in the wrapper, nice oily brown, the nice top there. So let's light it up and do a review. Move that around. Now the initial taste, there's always something different, I think, about Cuban tobacco, even just putting it in before you light it. The taste, as one of our tour guides there say, the sand in Cuba, it was underwater for thousands of years, and so I think there's a saltiness to it. So I've got my cutter, my foolproof cutter that's got the top. So you can't cut too much off. You don't want to do that. And I'm going to try to light it appropriately. Somebody, one of my other videos said I didn't light it enough, and I think you're right. So I'll try to take the advice there and get it all the way around without burning too much, and then burn a little much. And immediately, a very distinct Cuban flavor. You're not going to get that flavor any Nicaraguan, any Dominican. It's just not going to happen, even though it's a Cuban seed. Those that have Habano in the name, it's not going to be the same. There's something very distinct about Cuban tobacco. There's a smoothness to it, and also a strength, and I like to identify there's a certain unique Cuban creaminess. Pretty heavy smoke. Not an overwhelming flavor. By no means are Cuban cigars going to knock you out. I mean, they're not going to be that overpowering, but an excellent flavor. to truly do this cigar right, you need to let it age 2 to 3 years at least. I don't have the patience to do that. So sometimes you can buy, and I'll show you in one of the pictures, they sell Habanos or aged Cubans that they actually kept around primarily probably for the American market, because we have this idea of aging them, and it is better, but they're still very good. March of 17, so it's only just a little over a year, but an excellent smoke. So how did we get these? How did I get to Cuba and get these cigars? Booked a flight, Southwest, out of Pittsburgh to Fort Lauderdale to Havana and back. An amazing price, $250 round trip. Stayed in an Airbnb, had no problems whatsoever. We're not banned from going to Cuba. You cannot go right now as a tourist. You have to check one of the boxes, one of the 12 categories. The one I used and was recommended to use is support for the Cuban people. Do not need to use a tour guide. Very simple. Check that box. Was asked absolutely no questions upon leaving or arriving back. As part of that, you're supposed to have a journal of activities, full-time activities. So we did keep that, but we stayed at a private residence per se. We didn't stay at a government-run hotel, which I think is important, but the private residence, the Airbnb, we supported the Cuban people by doing that, as they are exploring somewhat of capitalism there, at least in parts. We hired private tour guides, which were not expensive. We had our first tour guide was actually a lawyer, and he could make more money as a tour guide. And for $120 divided by 4 of us, he picked us up in a rented like 57, I think it was a Bel Air. He paid for the driver, rented the car, took us around from 9 in the morning, dropped us back off at 7 o'clock at night. So we had 10 hours worth of his time. He actually was a lawyer for the government, but worked in the cigar industry, so he knew a lot about it. Gave us a tour. I think the tour was $5. I mean, it's crazy. Of one of the factories. It was an amazing time. The people were very friendly, felt very secure. Went to a number of cigar shops and brought back, you can bring back up to 100 cigars legally. Declare them, bring back, no problem. So, anyway, a little bit about that cigar as I continue to smoke it. It's outstanding, smooth, creamy. If I notice any changes in the flavor, I will let you know. But I'll show you a few pictures. I know this is not the best way. I'm not most technologically advanced. Maybe at some point in these videos I'll get better. But I'm just going to show you on my phone. So this is what he picked us up in, if I can get it to focus. And that the blue car initially. So we went to a restaurant. You're going to drink a lot of Habana Club if you're into alcoholic beverages. If you're not, you're going to drink the Cuban version of Coca-Cola. This is what you're looking to find. Sorry, the picture there, the La Casa de Habana. First day we were there, unfortunately the shop was closed. It was a Sunday, late afternoon. So I had to resort to smoking a Padron Anniversary. The Cuban tour guide picked us up in the red Bel Air. That's how he showed up at our Airbnb. Gave us a little tour of what amounts to Tiananmen Square, but in Cuba. And then we got inside the Partagas cigar factory. You can kind of see that there. It's all the rollers. There's our guide. There's me and my buddy Kent. There's another roller. You can see her job is actually to place similar shades of cigars in order for the boxes. Another friendly cigar roller, loved Americans, knew of LeBron James, of course. Just boxes and boxes of Cuban cigars being put together. Most of the factories make all the brands of Cuban cigars. So here's a limited edition that I'd like to get my hands on, a Partagas Maduro #1. I haven't got one of those yet. Here's the guy's stamp in the box. So we always know to look at the back of a box to see the box date. So he stamps that. That one's that's actually, I picked that off the shelf. So they reused the box. So that's actually from 13. But I have a picture of him stamping. So just boxes and boxes of cigars. So there's the famous stamper. They do everything by hand there. So March of 18 is that box of Monte Cristos. The architecture is just simply amazing. Spanish inspired cathedral downtown. The artwork is phenomenal. And then we took a tour of a cigar factory way out in Vinales, and about almost a 3-hour drive. Again, $120 divided by 4 of us. Took us out there, spent pretty much all day going through factories, looking at the fields of tobacco, place where they roll. They get to keep 10% of what they roll. 90% goes to the government. So I bought this little pack, hand-rolled cigars. While there, we took a horseback ride into the mountains of Vinales. I picked up one of those anahados that I was talking about, an aged Cuban. So you can get all kinds of specialty shops. The beaches are phenomenal. There's Ashley on the beach. There's my wife in a convertible. Again, some of the sights, their version of the Capitol. There's us in a cigar shop. And one of our guides there on the left. There's me in Cigar Heaven picking up boxes of Cuban cigars. And this is back at the airport. And so the airport, they're a little more expensive, but this shows you could buy a box of 25 Cohibas. I'm trying to see what size those are, but anyway, $340. A little pricey there at the airport. The box next to it's only $108, but you know they'll jack it up a little bit. One thing I will say about they charge a lot for Cohibas, more than double, I think, from like even a Hoyo de Monterrey. They're good, but they're not twice as good, and I think they do that just because a lot of the tourists and the popularity of the name Cohiba. So, in any event, that was a short description of our time in Cuba. The Hoyo de Monterrey that I'm smoking here. Fantastic, one of my favorites. If you love cigars, go to Cuba. What else can I say? Until next time.